Well, I think the main event of the day is the unbelievable victory of Caden Groves and the way he won. First of all, to be in that group, being Caden Groves, being a sprinter, he must have had really, really good legs, because to make that breakaway was definitely very hard. Then he did avoid the crash, but he was already in the little group that had separated from the others. Avoided the crash, and then the way he rode away from the two other guys, from Van den Broek and who's the other guy? Was it Jake Stewart?
I'm the 2012 Tour de France winner, Sir Bradley Wiggins.
And I'm Johan Bruyneel. I directed my teams to 9 Tour de France victories. Welcome to the Sir Wiggo and Johan show, our daily show where we dive deep into the tactics behind every stage of the Tour de France.
Hi everybody, welcome to our show, as every day, presented by Ketone IQ. We have a bit of a different setup for today. Spencer Martin is filling for Bradley. Bradley had some logistical issues. He's somewhere stuck on a mountain, I've been told, in Aspen, and couldn't make it. So thank you, Spencer, for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm great. Happy to be here. Happy to fill in. Apologies that I'm not Sir Bradley Wiggins, but Johan, only fitting to ask you, what is your take of the day?
Well, I think the main event of the day is the unbelievable victory of Caden Groves and the way he won. First of all, to be in that group, being Caden Groves, being a sprinter, he must have had really, really good legs, because to make that breakaway was definitely very hard. Then he did avoid the crash, but he was already in the little group that had separated from the others. Avoided the crash, and then the way he rode away from the two other guys, from Van den Broek and who's the other guy? Was it Jake Stewart?
Jake Stewart, yeah,
Jake
from
Stewart.
Israel Premier Tech.
Yesterday we said in outcomes, Spencer, that it was not going to be for sprinters, but if you look at the result, it was for sprinters. Caden Groves won, but he won solo.
Yeah, it's like, we knew it was a sprint stage the whole time. I mean, just a quick question for you. If you're in a group of three like that, what was Jake Stewart's thinking? Like, What was the thought there?
Yeah, I mean, three guys, two guys who are really fast. Then you had Frank Van den Broek, who obviously had no chance. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it happened. Actually, he got away. He went like to the left and just rode away. And I'm going to guess that Frank Van den Broek said, okay, well, if this stays together, I'm third anyway. So you're the faster guy, so you close it. And I think the main thing is, Spencer, that basically they're all super tired and there's nothing left. At this point, and I've been in this situation as a cyclist also. If at the end of the tour in the last week you make it to a break, that's like, okay, mission accomplished. Now, whatever happens, we get to the finish. But to get in the breaks, most of the riders who are in the break have nothing left to basically then, finish it off. And that's what separates. I mean, that's why I think that the ride of Caden Groves today was just unbelievable.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And what else is unbelievable is today's sponsor, Huckberry. Huckberry is building the future of retail for active, adventurous men. It's a one-stop shop for men's everything, from apparel, footwear, to home and everyday care. They curate and field test the best products. If it's on Huckberry, it's great. They also send out a daily newsletter to millions of guys every day. It has fantastic content. You're actually looking forward to this newsletter, and you forget that it's there to sell you things. That's how good it is. And some of my favorite products from Huckberry, you may have seen the now infamous photo of me unclogging the toilet in the move set. I was doing that in Huckberry's Well-In shorts. They're sports shorts. They have a liner. They are fantastic, from everything from lounging around, running, playing sports, to unclogging toilets, clogged by former professional cyclists in a basement in Aspen. They also have the 72-hour tee. It's the ultimate travel t-shirt, lightweight and soft. I believe our producer, Gabriel, has it. He wore it to dinner the other night. I was jealous the entire time. I wanted that t-shirt. I'm going to have to go onto huckberry.com and get it. And when I do, I will go to huckberry.com/themove so they know that we sent you. All right, Johan, also another question for you. So they're in this move. Jake Stewart, I would say, you're right. He must have just been so on the limit that he didn't even fully understand what was happening. By the time they know what's going on, Caden Groves is too far away. Something I was thinking about is, do you think Visma's tactic of making this race super hard worked? It's just the byproduct is they scorched the earth for everybody. Like no one has any energy left, including Visma.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but I think it's just. I mean, you can't just say Visma made the race hard. I think it's just the level of today's peloton is what makes the race hard and nonstop and going from start to finish every single day. I cannot. I mean, we've seen it coming since a few years now, but I think this year is really extreme. I mean, if you see, I mean, I'd like to see the average speed of the whole Tour de France. Pretty sure it's going to be the fastest one ever. Of course, that's not really a standard because the courses are not always the same. Sometimes there's more elevation, less elevation. But yeah, I mean, Visma, they've tried. They've tried. I think it was good to see today also that Matteo Jorgensen was in the break and actually was riding really strong compared to, the I'm going to say the lesser performances in the last 10 days. I mean, obviously we are used much better than this from Matteo. He's been sick apparently, so it's understandable. But today he was really, really strong. Got caught out with that breakaway. I mean, it was a strong breakaway. I mean, if you look, it started full gas, rainy conditions also, Spencer, and up and down all the time. And it took, if I'm not mistaken, it took about 90 kilometers before actually the break that was ahead got the okay finally from the peloton that they were going to say, okay, this is now gone. It took 90K. So obviously you're going to have strong guys in there. And if you look, for example, I mean, Tim Wellens, Matteo Jorgensen, even what's his name, Jordan Jegat.
Yeah, who was
in
the top 10 now.
11 and was in there, got into top 10 finally. He got yelled at by several guys in the break, saying, "Hey, you don't belong here." I mean, of course he belongs there. It's like he was 11th. He was 30 something minutes down. This is also part of the race, right? I mean, trying to get in the top 10, and you could see how much it means because, I mean, especially for Jegat and for the French team, Total Energies, it's been a while since this team had somebody in the top 10. And even for Jake Walula, who was, unfortunately for Ben O'Connor, he dropped out of the top 10 today because they had no manpower left. They only had Ben O'Connor and Mauro Schmidt, who crashed, by the way.
Who crashed,
pretty bad. So, these are all races within the race. And anyways, you had to be a strong guy to be in there. Those were all really strong riders.
Yeah, it took so long for it to go. And then it's funny they didn't want Jordan Jegat because if you think about it, he's someone you want in a breakaway because he's going to pull all day. All he cares about is the time. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even care about winning the stage. Like, what a motor to have in there. And yeah, and it shows just, I thought today maybe it wouldn't work at the top of the GC, but stages like this, as you saw, like you just get into the breakaway as a GC rider and then you're pulling time out because the stage is so fast. It's hard to control, unlike a mountain stage where we've seen that these strong teams can control them. But outside of that, like what did you think about Visma's day? They get Matteo up there. He's ultimately, not in the front group. Do you think they wanted more riders in that breakaway than they eventually got?
I think so. I think they wanted more riders. They've tried. Wout van Aert tried. I think Kampenaars tried a few times to be in there. It was very confusing in the beginning. We didn't really have a lot of information because there was like 4 groups at some point. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't always work. I mean, it's in the last week, if you have one rider in there, it's already a success. I mean, I think they did what they had to do. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, first of all, there was nothing else that they could do to change the GC. That's clear. Jonas actually said that yesterday, also after the finish, that he has to accept that he has to accept the defeat. That it's not going to happen anymore now in the next two stages, including today. But they still tried. It's also for Matteo Jorgensen to win a stage like this. It's not easy. It's not easy because there's going to be guys who are in there. They're fast. They're not going to collaborate 100%. I mean, Matteo, when the second when he was in the second group and then the first, he was driving it all. I mean, he's been pulling all the time with even Wellens on the wheel, and Wellens didn't even cooperate. So yeah, I mean, what else can they do, Spencer, Visma? I mean, there was not much else. It's also, I mean, what people need to understand is, okay, well, why didn't he send somebody else in the break? I mean, this is not like a remote controller. You have, okay, I'm going to send this guy now, and he's going to be in it. That's not the way it works, right? No. Certain people think, why don't they put more riders in the break? Well, I mean, it would be as easy as taking it and putting him in there. You can do that on a board game or something, but not in not in the bike race. That doesn't work like that.
You also, I mean, it's very hard. Like, even if you just go out to your local race and try to get in the breakaway, it's not as easy as you'd imagine. But you also only perceive it once it's done. Like, if you watch the first hour of this race, there's so many breakaways that are pulled in. It's like, well, the breakaway is only the breakaway after the fact. So it's not like you can't be in every move. You have to pick and choose. I mean, when it went, I'm just looking at it now. The first hour of this race was 45 kilometers an hour, which might not sound so fast, but it was basically started on a 12 kilometer long climb. Like it was full out the whole time.
Yeah, no, it was hard, and it was raining.
Yes, yeah, and it was like chilly, rainy. Do you think? I mean, maybe this is me just reading into things, but it's kind of an oddball stage to have you here. Usually have a time trial or a mountain stage, at least in the last 10 years. Do you think this contributed to Pogacar maybe riding a little bit more conservatively in the last two Alpine stages, knowing he still had to get through this?
I don't think he was worried about today's stage. I mean, it's a piece of cake for him, I mean, more conservative. I mean, I'd like to elaborate a bit on that also, Spencer, because we've seen, like comments about Pogacar, he's off, or he's not dominant, or he didn't attack, or I mean, what do you want the guy to do, man? He already won 4 stages. He's solidly in yellow. He's he just wants to get to Paris. His team was good, but not dominant. So you kind of have to be very conservative and careful what you do.
I mean, what's the upside of being aggressive? It's almost not.
If I would have been in the car or his director, I would have absolutely recommended the way he was racing, even less. Because at the end of the day, you need to take that yellow to Paris. That's the goal now, and he doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. We all know that he can win races and he can win stages.
Yeah, and I went back and watched the last 2 mountain stages of the last year's tour, and it's maybe not how everyone remembers, because stage 19, when he won at Isla 2000, he attacks at the bottom of the climb and gets clear. Well, he did the same thing yesterday. He attacked at the bottom of the climb, didn't get clear, and then you have to shift into it. You can't just keep attacking. You're in the yellow jersey. Like, why would you do that? You just shift into a more conservative role. And then stage 20, when he won that, he was parked on Jonas's wheel until they passed Carapaz. Like, he wasn't even trying to win that stage. Yeah. And then it was served up on a platter and he took it, which he probably would have yesterday. It just, the same opportunities didn't present themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, the difference with last year is that last year, Jonas was happy to finish second because he came back from the dead almost, right? So for him, being second was like, okay, this is great. On top of that, Remco was not that far behind. So Jonas had to attack in the last stages, and then he kept pulling, right? now it was completely different. Since there's such a big gap to third, Jonas didn't have to attack, or he could only attack when Pogacar did all the bulk of the work. But why would Pogacar do all the bulk of the work if you have a 4.5 minute buffer? So, it's not that
it's just a
difficult to
different
understand.
racing situation than last year.
Yeah.
Well, do you know much about Harry Sweeney? There was like a while where he was
you know what? Yesterday, Spencer, when we had finished outcomes, I thought, you know what? We should have put this guy in our wild card because he did. He was there for a long time. I mean, by the way, we almost got it, Spencer. Frank van den Broek.
I know.
He was plus 5,000. He was my wild card yesterday. Man, I was rooting for him so bad. I mean, when I saw him in the beginning of the stage and I saw he had this aerodynamic helmet on, I said, oh yeah, he's definitely going in the break. He finished second. But Harry Sweeney, I mean, he's on great form. He, if I'm not mistaken, he did a really good time trial in the Tour of Switzerland, right? That uphill time trial. He was
fifth,
up there.
Fifth in that time trial.
Yeah.
Which is actually proven to be a very predictive effort.
Yeah. And I think yesterday, was it yesterday or was it the day before? I don't remember now. He was there a long time also and not coming from a break. I said, wow. This is actually why I picked Frank van den Broek, because he was with the favorites for a long time, not coming from a break. Same goes for Harry Sweeney. He's a strong guy.
Interesting guy, too. He has a YouTube channel that it's like very inside the life of pros. Like it's a cold day in Andorra and he shows you like what he puts on. It's like an interesting YouTube channel.
I've never
if you want to know.
Out.
Yeah, if you want to know exactly what it's like to be a pro cyclist, I'd check that out. Frank Vandenbroek, great ride. I feel sad. I feel sad for us and for him. We're all devastated. There is like a points implication of that, but should we do an ad break really quick and then we'll talk about how the points have affected
Let's talk
this
about
race?
our presenting sponsor, Ketone IQ, Spencer. This little shot here, the 10 gram ketones, no sugar, no caffeine, is my preferred format. We all know that ketones are widely used within the peloton. It's been proven that it boosts athletic performance. In a placebo-controlled study with trained athletes, Ketone IQ boosted average sprint power by 19%, peak power by 13%, cut fatigue by 10%, and spiked blood ketones 5 times in just 20 minutes. They also discovered that ketones help with recovery. This is obviously what the riders in the Tour de France can need. It's all based on recovery. As we all know, Ketone IQ has teamed up with Team Visma Leasebike and also with the University of Leuven to explore recovery and high altitude adaptation. They found improved blood flow and higher muscle oxygenation for better endurance and stamina. So take your shot and get 20% off your order at ketone.com/themove and use the code THEMOVE at checkout. So that's ketone.com/themove using the code THEMOVE. Spencer, let's talk a bit about the composition of the breakaway also. If you look, so we have Wellens, Jorgensen, Jagat, Frank van den Broek, Caden Groves, Matteo Jorgensen, Ivan Romeo. I want to talk about him. Romain Grégoire, Pascal Eichhorn, Velasco, Jake Stewart, I think. There was a few others. I think it was 13 guys.
We say Matteo Trentin?
Matteo Trentin, exactly. Yeah. So, all big engines, right?
Yeah.
And if you see, then finally they split into 2 groups. But as we said, it was wet. And then we have this unfortunate crash in the corner of Ivan Romeo, taking out also Grégoire, I think, and Velasco, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the video right now.
And then we have Groves and Stewart and Frank van den Broek who can kind of sail around it, and that's the decision, right? Man, Ivan Romeo, I don't know if you saw him after the finish when he arrived. Did you see how his?
No, he looked really hurt though when he crashed.
Yeah.
When he got up from the crash.
Yeah, but man, I saw pictures, from when he arrived, and then when he arrived at the team bus. Oh, it's crazy. I mean, to have this in stage 20 in the Tour de France. I mean, these are things you expect in week 1 in the first 3-4 days of the tour. Normally, I mean, usually there was never any crashes anymore in the last week. But anyways, today was a full gas day, and with the rain. But obviously, I mean, Romeo is a strong rider. I think you put some money on him, right?
Well, yeah, I was down in the Huckberry chill chamber. He had won a stage of the Dauphiné very similar to this. I thought he was going to win this stage. This guy is so strong. He's been strong on tour. And Bradley Wiggins was like, this guy's going to win. Put money on him. And I live bet on him, but I also live bet on Caden Groves because I thought, well, if Romeo doesn't win, it's probably going to be he's beaten from a group. Who's going to win from a group? Caden Groves. So I ended up making money, but yeah, it was very sad watching him crash like 2 seconds after I bet on him.
Yeah. Young guy, first Tour de France. But man, what a sport. What a sport. You don't see this anywhere else. I mean, he just goes down. His whole, all his clothing are ripped off. The whole side of his body is just open, raw. And the guy just, gets up and keeps going because this is the Tour de France and you want to get to Paris.
And
he's
now
not going
when
to sleep
you
very
get to
well,
Paris,
man, tonight.
You might be crashing too. They've added a wrinkle. So this guy's 21.
Yeah.
He's been in 4 breakaways at this tour. Like, how hard it is to get in a breakaway at the Tour de France. That's impressive.
Yeah. Also, I mean, he did an amazing ride in the Spanish Championship. It was really hard. It was on the slopes of Sierra Nevada, and he just rode away from everybody. Really, really good rider. But anyways, so we see then I think the move of the day is. I mean, first of all, the move of the day is this crash, and then the move of the day is Caden Groves really riding away, like without even accelerating or getting out of the saddle, just going, and these two guys are just watching each other. And I mean, from that moment on, man, it was still what was it, 17K to go when he went?
Yeah, 17K basically, 16.8.
Yeah, and he initially, it took him a little bit, but man, I mean, I think he finished with like a minute, no?
54 seconds over Vandenbroek.
Okay.
Yeah, like really strong. I mean, an atypical effort you'd see from a sprinter. I mean, how often do you see a sprinter ride away and win? And there's debate about whether he's a sprinter or not, but I would just say he's won 10 Grand Tour stages. 9 of those are from bunch sprints. So he's clearly a versatile rider, but he's fast enough to win at a bunch sprint. Yeah. So this is super impressive. Like almost Sagan-esque or something, like that type of versatility is not super common.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think back, Spencer, to week 1, in week 1, when we did outcomes, Caden Groves on some of those stages, like the punchy stages with these little climbs at the end, where Pogacar and Jonas rode away from everybody and then got caught. Caden Groves was considered one of the candidates to win some of those stages. Because he's that how do you say that? Versatile.
Yeah.
I mean, also today with winning in his first Tour de France participation, he wins a stage. He's now joining the select club of riders who have won stages in all 3 Grand Tours, which is, very unique.
He's 8th amongst active riders in Grand Tour stage wins.
Yeah. And also, Spencer, 9 of his 9 last wins were Grand Tour stages. 9 of his 9 last wins are Grand Tour stages. I mean, wow, that's pretty impressive.
I wonder if that's a record, like an all-time record.
Wait. They said it on TV. I'm trying to think if it's 9 of his 9 last World Tour wins or something. Anyways.
It's definitely, if you look at his list of wins, it's his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Yes, the last 9 wins total.
Or
like not
Grand
just
Tour
World Tour.
stages.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want to? I would say so. We still have 14 teams without a stage win.
Mhm.
Another team that has already won stages wins.
3
Alpecin
stage wins
Deconic,
now 3 stage wins for Alpecin. That's pretty impressive also.
with 3 different riders.
They win with Philipsen. He crashes out. Then afterwards, goes home. Mathieu van der Poel wins the stage, takes yellow, gets sick, goes home. And now the third big name of the team, Caden Groves, wins his stage. I mean, they just keep pulling it off. The Roodhoof brothers. They're impressive, man. They're impressive.
And who knows how official? I'm just looking at a list of the budgets, fairly well sourced, and there's only 6 or 7 teams with a lower budget than them in the World Tour.
What are they listed at? Total budget.
I mean, this is a wide range: 15 million to 25 million euros.
Yeah.
Probably is somewhere in there. Yeah,
I think it's somewhere north of 20, but below 25.
And then you think about all these teams like FDJ. I'm sure they have a decent budget. Movistar, Decathlon, Bora, Bahrain. None of those teams have won a stage at this tour, unless I'm mistaken. So, and it's interesting to me they don't have any GC riders. Like they know what they're good at. And like, remember Jay Vine was on the team and they let him go to UAE.
That's one of the things. They know they actually made amazing choices on who to renew and who to let go.
Yeah, it's like their great strength.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they let a lot of riders walk at the right time, which is key.
Spencer, let's talk a bit about that crash in the peloton, man, at the end. I mean, that's so you have Caden Groves coming in alone, then the remainder of the breakaway, and then 6 minutes behind is the what remains from the peloton. So race over, right?
Yeah.
And we see this crash in the peloton. I know you guys talked about it in the move, and I think you're absolutely right. This is because of the point system in the UCI and the relegation. If you look, who were first and second is 2 Astana riders.
Yeah.
And who was the first guy to crash? A Cofidis rider. The guys who are up for relegation.
I mean, I didn't have a very captive audience, Johan, when I was trying to explain this, but
I know, but I absolutely agree with you. That's the reason.
And Astana, they get 25 points. They're probably safe. This has been drilled into them probably, because they might have all lost their jobs if they didn't get points.
Yes.
So they're like a pit bull. Like they're going to go for these points. Cofidis, what has Cofidis gotten out of this tour? Like they are a 19th, meaning they'd be the first team relegated. It gets a little complicated because there might be an extra spot because 2 teams might merge.
Yeah.
But do you know who's right behind them?
Uno X.
Uno X. And you know who's has stage results and GC results that still haven't that are still pending? Uno X.
Yeah,
so
Uno X,
they'll probably pass Cofidis by the end of this tour.
Yeah, and what about, Picnic.nl, they're safe, no? I mean, especially now with Oscar only scoring a lot of points.
They are, I guess, technically not safe, but they are trending up. They're in the safety zone. Yeah, Oscar only is going to get them a lot of points. And even think today, like Frank Vandenbroek, second. They're really good at actually picking up these points in tough races.
Well, also, Spencer, listen, the season is now over. We still have lots of races. We have still the Vuelta. These teams need to keep the pressure on, like Cofidis, Uno X, Tudor, Picnic.nl. And even Astana. Are they now, like 14th, 15th or 17th?
Yeah, this is like in the aggregate 3-year rankings are
that's
16th.
What counts.
Yeah,
16th.
So they but it's really it's only 1,500 points basically is what they're safe by. Mm-hmm. So if you think 25 free points, basically, you're going to go for that.
Yeah, for sure. Now that was unfortunate to see. I mean, there you see, Spencer, it's not over till Paris. I mean, this guy could have taken Pogacar out. Pogacar was there. Yeah. He was there. He just had to go around. I mean, he was there just next to the crash.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that would be horrible.
I actually want to ask you about potential crashes tomorrow, how that would be handled, but should we do Ventum trivia of the day?
Yeah, let's do a Ventum trivia before we talk about tomorrow's stage, Spencer. As every day, so yesterday's question was, in the final kilometers of the difficult La Plagne climb, riders will pass or have passed another historic alpine sporting venue. What is it? The answer was, it's the 1.5 kilometer La Plagne Olympic bobsleigh track. That was the answer. Today's question, marking its 50th anniversary since it first appears as the final stage of the Tour de France, the Champs-Élysées is arguably the most iconic stage of the Tour. With 4 wins over his storied career, Sir Mark Cavendish currently holds the record for wins here. In what years did he win? So in what years did Mark Cavendish win on the Champs-Élysées? This is the last chance to enter. Tomorrow we will announce the winner of the contest in the episode of The Move. So send your best guess to ventumracing.com/themove to be entered in this year's grand prize. It's $5,000 of store credit on the whole site towards any Ventum bike you want to purchase. There's also, and that's only tomorrow left, a standing discount on the site, 10% off using the code TheMove10 and 20% off any NS1 built with the code NS120. Yeah, Spencer, tomorrow's stage.
You just got an NS1. Is that correct?
I just got an NS1. Yeah, I just got an NS1. I tried it for the first time yesterday. And because I'm used to riding the GS1, which I used both for gravel and road with 2 pairs of wheels. I'm now convinced that the NS1 is better for the road. It's a faster bike. I only used it once, but I'm already, today and tomorrow I can't ride because I have to bring my son to the bike races. But on Monday morning, first thing, I'm on my NS1.
I've been miles. On the GS1 on road tires for the last month. Monday morning before I fly to London, I'm taking the NS1 out when I finally get home. I'm going to test it side by side. But tomorrow's stage, 132 kilometers. It's funny because we previewed this on Outcomes. This is like deja vu. 132 kilometers, Paris with a twist. You have 3 laps of the traditional Champs-Élysées circuit. Then they pop off and they do the climb of Montmartre, which, if you remember, is from the Olympics last year. It's 2 laps of that, 3 passes of the climb. We went through who we think is going to win, and we got information. I don't know. Can we say this? That Pogacar?
No. We got information. Yeah. So apparently the general consensus in the Tour de France peloton is that it's not going to be for sprinters. Not because they can't get over it, but because it's extremely difficult to control on this circuit with the manpower that's left in the teams. And so apparently it's more appropriate for people who want to attack.
I'm still sticking by my pick because he's a good attacker because he won today. Apparently,
there's rumors that Pogacar wants to win tomorrow in yellow on the Champs-Élysées. That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I'm still struggling to see. He would have to ride away by himself. There's gonna be somebody who can stay close, and okay, he's fast, but there's also other fast guys. And if he wants to win, he's gonna have to ride from the top of the climb to the finish. Nobody's gonna want to work with him. So, there's doubts that it might rain. We don't know. I have a good story about Champs-Élysées with rain, Spencer. 2005, so Lance's last victory in the Tour, Discovery Channel. As usual, there was a normal stage as usual, and then it was a tradition that the team of the yellow jersey enters the first on the Champs-Élysées, and the race basically goes loose. I don't remember how many laps it was, 8 laps or something. And there was a young new professional Belgian guy on Française des Jeux called Philippe Gilbert, who had the marvelous idea to not respect the agreement among the peloton and attacked just before the Champs-Élysées. And when he looked back, he saw the whole Discovery Channel team, except Lance, on the cobbles, on the floor. They all crashed. And then he came back. He got shouted at by the whole peloton. And they started shouting, and he attacked again.
I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah. And, I have found out, so this was 2005. Let me think. I have found out last year, 2 years ago. So 18 years later, that Philippe Gilbert, he apparently, I never knew him. I've never spoken to him before. But I had heard that he was pissed off with me. I didn't know why. I've never spoken to him. And I found out 2 years ago that Philippe Gilbert was pissed off with me because he was convinced that because of that incident, which actually I have only found out 2 years ago. I had never known that I knew the guys crashed, but I didn't know it was because Gilbert attacked. But he was convinced that for revenge, there was a classic race called Paris Tour a few days later. And we had a rider on Discovery Channel. It was called a Belgian guy, Stijn de Volder, who won the Tour of Flanders twice. Was escaped with Philippe Gilbert for Paris Tours. And Paris Tours is known for its last 2-kilometer finish. And of course, Gilbert was fast and de Volder was not fast. And so Dirk de Mol, who was the director there, gave the instructions to Stijn de Volder to not pull anymore. And they got caught with 200 meters to go. Gilbert was convinced that I, from my house, had made the call to Dirk de Mol to not let de Volder cooperate because for revenge for what he had done in 2005, something I didn't even know that happened. So we cleared that up 2 years ago at the dinner. At least I cleared it up for him. Whether he believed it or not, I have my doubts. But yeah, that's the story of 2005. The whole Discovery Channel on the crashed out because the attack of Philippe Gilbert.
Well, they were talking about that in the studio today. I didn't know that full story, but
yeah, that's the full story.
What happens if Pogacar crashes tomorrow? Is it live time? What are they doing here?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's hope it doesn't rain. Yeah. If it rains, with this kind of circuit, I kind of think they can't make the decision that the times are going to be caught at the entrance of the Champs-Élysées because it's going to be, it's on this course. The guys are just going to sit up. That's not the purpose of putting all this effort and going through
exactly.
a lot of controversy and, to change it and, wanting to go up Montmartre. I think it's been publicized. Basically the whole peloton is against it. So it would be quite, the irony if they have to, if they have to decide to neutralize the race time wise. I think it's unlikely it's going to rain. If it rains, if they have to neutralize the race, that would be definitely not. I would be for it because you don't want anybody to lose the race because of the rain on the cobbles in Paris, because the cobbles in Paris, they're flat and they're slippery.
Yeah. But that's why you have the original circuit, and now with this circuit, it would look ridiculous because no one would be racing. It would be
exactly
a group of 10 people. The whole thing seems. I did hear though that, remember, the winners press conference always used to be tonight, the evening after stage 20. Well, apparently it's not till tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. So that would suggest ASO thinks that the race is live until the end of stage 21.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Anything else, Johan? Before
that's it. I think
off?
It's late here. It's almost 30 past midnight. So,
oh boy.
Yeah, and I have an early morning tomorrow. I have to drive my son to one of his races. So let's call it a day.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And there'll be this show will not happen tomorrow. Johan will be on the move, and we'll have everybody together for like a super show tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, Spencer. Thanks.
All right.
Speak
Thanks,
soon.
Johan. Bye.